loan practices at Countrywide Financial to the disastrous excesses at Lehman Brothers, and from India's corruption-marred sale of wireless spectrum to the firestorm ignited by News Corp's phone hacking. Despite these and other dirty deeds, I doubt that today's tycoons are any less principled than their counterparts in earlier decades. The German word Raubritter, or robber baron, dates back to the Middle Ages and was first applied to grasping toll collectors along the Rhine River. In the 19th century, the term was revived as a fitting epithet for America's buccaneering and occasionally rapacious industrialists. If 21st century leaders seem especially amoral, it's because a globally matrixed economy magnifies the effects of executive malfeasance. Consider the sovereign debt crisis that engulfed Europe in 2011. In a world of nationally constrained institutions, the credit problems of a country like Greece would be a small-scale catastrophe. Not so in an interconnected world where avarice strategies are quickly aped and imprudent risks spread like a virus. It was these dynamics that led French and German banks to dump more than $900 billion into the barely solvent economies of the pigs, Portugal, Ireland, Greece, and Spain. Turns out American bankers weren't the only ones who were susceptible to moral hazard. But it's not just bankers we need to worry about. In a networked world, lax security standards can imperil the confidential information of 100 million consumers or more. A failure to exercise due diligence over a vendor can result in a worldwide food contamination scare, and a decision that puts quality at risk can provoke a global recall. The critical point is this. Because the decisions of global actors are uniquely consequential, their ethical standards must be uniquely exemplary. It's easy to feel sorry for Mark Hurd, the former Hewlett-Packard CEO, who was pushed from his perch over what seemed to be a relatively minor infraction of HP's ethics rules. I don't know whether justice was done in that particular case, but I do know it's a good thing when influential leaders are held to high standards. If the global economy amplifies the impact of ethical choices, so too does the web. Word of mouth can quickly turn a local misdemeanor into a global cause célèbre. Nike, Apple, and Dell are just a few of the companies that have been castigated for turning a blind eye to the subpar employment practices of their Asian suppliers. There are no dark corners on the web. Miscreants will be outed. The web is also producing a new sort of global consciousness, a heightened sense of our interconnectedness. Increasingly, we understand that we live on the same planet, breathe the same air, and share the same oceans. In civic and commercial life, we expect the same high standards of equity and fair play to apply everywhere, and are offended when they don't. And thanks to the web, that displeasure can quickly congeal into a global chorus of indignation. Around the world, ethical expectations, if not behaviors, are leveling up. The intermeshing of big business and big government is another force bringing values to the fore. As citizens and consumers, we're smart enough to know that when lobbyists and legislators sit down to a lavish meal, our interests won't be on the menu. Instinctively, we know that democracy and the economy do better when power isn't concentrated. But since it often is, we must do whatever we can to ensure that those occupying positions of trust are, in fact, trustworthy. For all these reasons, we need a values revolution in business, and it can't come soon enough. In a 2010 Gallup study, only 15% of respondents rated the ethical standards of executives as high or very high. Nurses came in first at 81%, corporate lobbyists last at 7%. This lack of trust poses an existential threat to capitalism. Companies do not have inalienable rights granted to them by a creator. Their rights are socially constructed and can be reconstructed any time society feels so inclined. A fact made abundantly clear with the passage of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002 and the Dodd-Frank Act of 2010, two U.S. statutes